Notice what's going on externally and internally. As you start to make these subtle observations, can you put on like different glasses of perception so that as you notice things, you see them through the lenses of beauty? And just like you all have been practicing for a while, just like how your pose, when you're in a yoga pose, can continue to evolve, and it's a ever unfolding process while you hold a position. With these lenses of beauty, as you notice, as your awareness picks up more and more things, can it be a deepening of seeing the abundance of beauty that's all around you and inside of you? Notice the sensation of your breath, and does that feel more graceful? Not because you changed your breath, just because you're starting to change the lenses through which you perceive. Begin to make your breath longer and deeper, but without much force. This longer, deeper breath, bringing more prana and energy into your system. And it's this prana, this life force energy, that really is the beauty that we perceive. It's always there, even when we aren't noticing it. Okay, draw your hands in front of your heart. Maybe rub your hands together. It was a new moon yesterday, and new moons are a time where it's really good to plant new intentions. My intention for this new moon cycle is to continuously be coming back to this new perception of seeing the beauty in things instead of maybe the frustration. So you can use that as your intention, or if there's something else that you want to work with, you can imagine planting that now within your heart. And we'll take 3 rounds of breath, and then tune in with 1 Om, 1 round of the Anusara invocation, and 1 more Om. Take a full inhale. Hold your breath and lengthen. Exhale. Last one. Imagine that intention growing within you. Exhale. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchitananda Mortaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om. And keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands down to your thighs or your lap. Our life is all this process of forgetting, getting distracted into like the material world. And then the yogi practices remembering. And it's like a slow process. It takes you a long time to remember, and then you get quicker at remembering. And then the places you go when you forget is less severe. So today as we practice, I want you to keep coming back to remembering to look for beauty inside of you, around you, and know there's always more than meets the eye. Let your eyes blink open. Awesome. So that's what we're gonna work with today. Seeing beauty. This is a big part of Anusara Yoga philosophy. Sometimes it's explained in the phrase, look for the good. And it doesn't mean that you're overlooking the negative. It's that you can see that even in the challenging times, even in the like perceived negative situations, there's still beauty there. One of the things I've been working with is I keep fucking up my knee. Oh, I was gonna record this. Good, I'll record it after, I swear. That's the way to do it. Oh, darn, I had already forgot. Started the recording, never mind. But I keep re-injuring my knee, like playing with the kids or doing things like I shouldn't. And to try to like find beauty, like even in these things that like I don't particularly like, right? So I challenge you to have that be a focus and notice how much things change just by like putting on different lenses of perception. Okay, let's start standing at the top of the mat. I think we might use a strap today. So when we get to that, if you want to go run and grab a strap or like a towel. Okay, push down through your feet, tone through your core, feel your chest lift up, broaden, crown of the head lengthen up. And then on your next inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky. Exhale, hinge forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Fingertips strong, knuckle ridges strong, lower down, chaturanga. Knees can always come down. Lower down to your belly, root the toes down, lengthen and curl, cobra. Belly strong, heart peeling open, chin tucked. Exhale, downward facing dog. Looking for the beauty could be another way of saying optimal alignment. So when you find that place that feels like beauty is impinged in some way, how can you adjust the way you're viewing it or adjust your physical structure so it feels more beautiful and sattvic. Look forward, bring your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen. Tone your core, take your hands to your hips and come all the way up to standing. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, downward facing dog. Take your right foot to the back of your left heel. Root your left heel down, put a little bend in your left knee, belly in, drag your left sit bone up more. Think about pushing the top of your left femur bone back into the top of your left hamstring. And then as you inhale, stretch your right leg up to the sky. Open your right hip towards the right. Then square your hips up again. Take a slightly bigger internal rotation with your right leg, so outer right hip turns in just a little bit more as you keep pushing the top of your left femur bone up and back. Little bend in the knees to gain more of a hamstring stretch. The secret is to get on the call early so you can give me a request. We'll be hitting hamstrings for Diane. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Lengthen through your spine. And then either with fingertips on the floor or fingertips on block, with the spine long, push through your right leg as you exhale, and then inhale, bend your knee over your ankle. Exhale, straightening. Inhale, bending. And last one, straighten. Hold your legs straight. Spin the outer left hip forward. Drag the sitting bones back as you pull your spine forward. Continue to expand the pose, even if it's an internal feeling of growing. And can you also be expanding your perception of this, of beauty? All right, plant your hands, step back to plank. Core strong, lots of length, lower down a little bit and pause. Lower to your belly, lengthen and curl. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot comes to the back of the right heel. Practicing the loop, strong right foot pushing into the floor. Heel is lifted, toes pushed down. Little bend in the right knee, belly and right sit bone up. Pushing the top of your right femur bone up and back into the attachments of the right upper hamstrings. On your next inhale, keeping the right leg the same, lift your left leg up to the sky. Push down through your hands, armpits lift, ribs tone in. Open left hip towards the left. And then square off your left hip. Rotate outer left hip down in a little bit more until you feel a slightly bigger stretch on the outside edge of the right hip and hamstring. And keep rooting the pelvis back. As you exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Come up onto your fingertips. We rest, Dad. Spin your outer right hip forward, lengthen the spine forward. Work on prioritizing the length of the spine. And once you've anchored that length, and coming up to blocks can be helpful if you can't get, if you're still stuck in a round, begin to exhale and straighten the front leg, and then inhale, bend it. Last one is the legs straightens, hold it, Parsvottanasana. I like to keep my back heel lifted up a little bit so I don't feel as much torque on the knee joint. And this spinning the hips forward so the belly button moves slightly to the left, consistently pushing out through the legs and lengthening through the spine. Root the hips back, fill the hamstrings, widen and stretch as the pelvis untucks and the spine lengthens forward. And bend the knee over your ankle, plant your hands, step back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Put a little bend in your knees and then step or hop your feet forward. Uttanasana. Inhale, heart forward. Pull belly into the spine, hands come to the hips, use your pelvis, come upright. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, plant your hands. Downward facing dog. Work your right foot to the back of the left heel.
Stretching either ends of the hamstring by the calf, by tipping the knee forward as you root the heel towards the floor, and then stretching either ends of the hamstring as you tip the knee down and draw the sitting bone up and back. Some more bendy people can't get the hamstring that much that way, so you want to pull your belly in as you drag the sitting bone up. Then as you inhale, right leg up to the sky. Open the hips to the right. Left knee stays steady. Keep pushing down through the left armpit, the left hand, so the armpit stays level with the right. Then square off the hips. Right, work your right foot forward between your hands. Lengthen through your spine. Belly in, widen your left hand maybe to a block, spin your chest to the right. From your hips, push down through your feet, pull your core in, curl and lengthen. Top arm can stretch up or over your ear. Catch your mind when you get distracted, thinking about something else. And without pushing that thought away, just like even the thought, can you see as beauty and can you widen it so that thought doesn't have such a big grip on you? Keep pushing through the feet. We're gonna ground the left heel down to the floor. Pinky edge parallel to the back of your yoga mat. Come on up, second warrior pose. Tip up and back, reverse warrior. Strong legs, continue to push. Then come back up, elbow to the thigh. Push through the feet, push through the right elbow, stretch. On your next inhale, come back up, straighten your front leg, turn both of your feet to the left, hinge forward, wide leg forward fold, fingertips to the floor or the block, spine long, hips, bring them forward. So your hips, middle of the knee and middle of the ankle are about in one line. Work those loops again, so four corners of the feet push down, knees hinge forward slightly, sit bones go up and back, and then the head of the femur bones push into the back of the hamstrings. Belly pulls in as you drag yourself forward. And a nice pivot back to the right foot. High runner's lunge, straighten the front leg, Parsvottanasana. Keep your left fingertips on the floor and reach your right hand more forward. Try to lead with your belly. So sit bones go back, belly button comes forward, right arm reaches. Strong legs. All right, bend your front knee over your ankle, plant your hands, step back, plank. Great, lower down, chaturanga, hover, lower down to your belly, lengthen and curl. Downward facing dog. Left foot crosses over right heel. The word beauty in Sanskrit is Shri. Like Sanskrit words, they don't translate very well to English. So it's a word that means beyond beauty. And it's often associated with the goddess Lakshmi, who's the goddess of good fortune and abundance and beauty. Open the left leg up to the sky. Open your left hip to the left, shoulders stay squared. Push through the legs, push through the arms. This is where the abundance and this like continuous unfolding. It's never a static thing, or it doesn't have to be a static experience. Square off your hips, slightly more internal rotation with your left leg, right sit bone up and back, and then step left foot forward. Lots of length. Widen the right hand, keep the core in, rotate over the right shoulders, right hip stays lifted, stretch the top arm up or over your ear. Ground your back heel, use your strength, come up, second warrior pose. Back hand on your hip, strong push through your legs, strong raise through your spine, hinge up and back. Come back up through center, left elbow to your thigh, root down and stretch. Come back up, second warrior pose, push through your front leg, pivot both of your feet to the right, inner, outer edge of foot strong, knees not locked, pelvis mobile. From the pelvis, rotate forward, come to your halfway lift. Once you've established this position, stay here or hinge more. The hinge leads with your belly. So if your belly button stays lifted out of stiffness, not out of strength, then I'd stay long. Or hinge at your hips and push. Inhale, straighten your arms if you hinged. Pivot forward over your left leg. Keep both of your legs straight, Parsvottanasana. Hips squared forward, sit bones reach back. And it's like you're throwing a baseball. And you're stretching your left arm way forward. Hands could be on blocks. But the left arm coming more forward will help pull your navel forward and lengthen especially the lateral aspect of your left hamstring. All right, bend your front knee over your ankle, plant your hands, step back plank. Decide if you want to move through this vinyasa. You could do something else. Lower down, lengthen and curl. If you wanted, you could do a soft neck rotation, being really mindful about the back of the neck, not shortening. For taking the neck rotation, take any other direction. Head come back to center, downward facing dog. Put a little bend in your knees, step or hop, Uttanasana. Inhale, get long. Tone the core, hands to the hips. Out to center, hands in front of your heart. Going back to your intention. But it's so easy to forget, so you have to keep reminding yourself. And the more you Notice the subtle forgetting on the mat, and you remind yourself with a lot of gentleness and compassion. And for me, the remembering gets easier off of the mat. Inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky. Push through your feet. Exhale, lengthen. Hinge. Inhale, heart forward. Plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. Okay, right foot, back of the left heel. This should start feeling different as you bring more length to the back of the leg. So see what little refinements you can do to keep the stretch growing. Inhale, float the right leg up. Without allowing the right hip to turn open this time, and without allowing the left knee to straighten all the way, try to lift the top of the right hip higher away from the floor. And if you don't allow your left knee to straighten, this is going to enhance the stretch of the left hamstring while strengthening the right glute. Find that max point, ribs in, shoulders lifted, and then open your right hip towards the right. Same thing, see if you can find a slight burn on the outer edge of your right hip as you lift your pinky edge of the foot higher towards the ceiling. Shoulder stays lifted. Square off your hips, step your right foot forward. Really nice, step your left hand wide, high runner's lunge twist. All right, bring your right hand to your hip, strong legs, push through your right foot, straighten your leg. Bend, straighten. Sometimes I have to adjust where my left hand is when I bend and straighten my leg. Bend, straighten, push through the feet, tone the core, uncurl, reach. All right, keep pushing through the leg, bend your front knee over your ankle, ground the left pinky toe down, second warrior pose. Reverse warrior. Come forward, Parsvakonasana. You can go elbow to thigh, fingertips to block inside or outside of the front leg. Push and stretch. Strengthen the body, push through the feet, come back up, second warrior pose. Pivot both of your feet to the left, wide leg forward fold. Stay long or hinge forward. I remember when I was first learning this pose in yoga, it seemed like the goal was to get your head to the floor. I have since learned, and if this isn't applicable to you at all, just like ignore what I'm saying. But if it is possible for you to reach your head towards the floor, you don't want to stop there. You then want to move your feet in closer, so you're always being able to grow in length and more. Push strongly through the feet. Still working the subtle aspects of the legs, so active feet, hinge in the knees slightly, sit bones up, femur bones push up and back into the upper attachments of the legs. Then inhale, lengthen, pivot yourself forward towards the right foot, front knee over your ankle. This time we're gonna bring the left knee to the floor. You can throw a blanket under there if you want. And straighten the front leg. And we're gonna do a brief Ardha Hanumanasana. The goal, again, long spine. So using blocks if you need to, or if you want to. Trying to lead the hinge in the hips with the belly. So as the sit bones go back, belly button rocks forward, drag the spine forward. And then if you start to get too much hang in your belly, then draw it up. Stay here or throw your right hand further forward. All right, release that. Bend your front knee over your ankle. Step back. Downward facing dog. Let's go straight into the second side. Left heel roots the right. Left toes roots the left heel down. No, left toes roots the right heel down. I'll think of the Shri energy, or the Swakshmi energy, is like the beauty of smelling a flower, or like the sweetness of eating a fruit, or like the awe of looking at the sunset or the stars. But knowing that like that can be in any moment. So it can be in every pose, in every interaction. Left leg reaches up. Find that pull of the left heel to the sky as you keep the right knee stable, belly in. Open the left hip to the left. Pull pinky edge of the foot up higher. Feel the strength of your left outer hip. And then work your left foot forward between your hands. Get long. Widen right hand. Belly in. Curl. Stretch the top arm up. Really nice. Take your left hand to your hip. With your hand on your hip and your core strong, push through the left foot, straighten the front leg. I have to move my hand back just a little bit to do that. And then moving with your breath, inhale, bend. Exhale, push, straighten. Keep the spine long. Bend. Push and straighten. Strengthen the leg, strengthen the core, lengthen through the legs and the spine, stretch your top arm up. You might play with wrapping the left hip under if that feels like it helps stabilize the pose. Bend the front knee over your ankle, ground your back foot. Second warrior. Reverse warrior. Hinge forward, elbow to thigh, fingers to floor or block. Parsvakonasana. Notice how you're breathing. I think sometimes when I'm not seeing the magic or the sweetness around me, it's often because I'm not like recharging my energy. So I'm feeling depleted in my energy and I have a hard time seeing that beauty and the energy around me. So long, deep breathing is a good way of recharging your energy. Same with getting sleep, same with eating good food. Hey, come back up, get strong, push through the legs, pull yourself up. Spin both of your feet to the left, hinge forward. Options, you can stay upright, you can take your deeper bow like we did before, or you can do a variation of a twist. You can take your left hand to the middle and take your right hand to your hip and begin to turn your chest open. Remember, in twist, we want to be countering the twist with the hips. So as the chest turns to the right, the hips turn to the left. You can stay here. You can stretch the top arm if you want. I'm not the biggest fan of taking my arm up. It always feels pretty restricting. Or you can take a threaded needle where you switch the hands, left hand threads through and holds onto the outside of the leg. Same thing, hips twisting to chest, twisting to the right, hips countering to the left. Inhale, unwind. And go for your second side. Either taking left hand to the hip, right hand stays on the floor, or left hand comes to the floor, right arm threads through. Inhale, unwind, lengthen. Pivot your feet forward to the front of the yoga mat. Bend your right knee to the floor, Ardha Hanumanasana. Stretch, maybe left hand forward, right hand pulls in. Notice the angle of the pelvis. The tendency will be for it to turn towards the right. And you can tell that because the belly button will also be pointing to the right. Glide your left hip back, turn your outer right hip forward, get your navel to go shift up and to the left. Really nice. Unwind, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. And breathe like you're smelling a sweet flower. I'm imagining panini, no, peonies. Downward facing dog. Sit bones up, unveiling that secret window underneath the hamstrings, imaginary secret window, rooting the femur bones back into that space as you lift your belly in and try to pull your spine towards your thumbs. Right, inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, step your right foot forward between your hands. Straighten the front leg. Lengthen through the spine, either stay long or bow the spine forward. If you're bowing your spine forward, oftentimes the butt will round under. So as you bow, keep trying to drag the sitting bones up and back. And if you're pretty bendy, then pull your belly button into your spine more. Keep pushing through the legs. Great, lengthen your spine forward. Bend your front knee over your ankle, lower the back knee down to the floor or a blanket. Come upright. Quad stretch with one or both hands. Right big toe, inner heel, right pinky toe, right outer heel. Powerfully pushing into the floor. Left knee powerfully pushing into the floor. Belly in, shoulders back, throat back. Push and lengthen. Stay here or very advanced. Do this slow foot creep forward. Yeah. However far you want, but the goal is to keep the quad stretch, keep the chest open, and keep the left lift through the heart. Low belly in. I like to squeeze the glutes to push through the floor. So good. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. We've been getting those your hamstrings. See if you can get more lift through your legs without dropping the belly. Zip the left foot forward between your hands. Straighten the front leg. Lengthen, 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 push. Keep yourself strong and long so this isn't like a lazy, I can just lay on my leg. It's a controlled lengthen and bow. Hamstrings are a fun topic for this beauty because hamstrings aren't always a pretty thing to work with. So I think it's important to remember that looking for the good and looking for the beauty doesn't mean trying to make everything okay or like ignoring the pain points of life. You can have challenges, you can work through challenges, you can see things as like not something that should be present or something like that, but still being able to try to see the beauty that's there because it's like this interconnection of life, this one energy diversified into the many, and that's where the all beauty is. Hi, bend your front knee over your ankle, back knee to the floor or the cushion. Start pretty upright. Reach back for your back foot. You do not need to do this with both hands. It's just my preference. Push the shoulders forward and then peel them open. Keep the shoulders peeled open. Keep the core in, engage the glutes and push down. Now if you want to do this sneaky toe shuffle forward, you can also come into this a different way. You don't want to fall while you hold your back foot. Crunch the core, squeeze the glutes, curl the shoulders, lift through the heart and the ears. Meet a challenge with more breath. Ty always gets a little annoyed because when we start to argue, I'll start to like breathe more heavily. He's like, oh great, here it comes. I'm like, no, I need more prana to handle this situation. Learned it in my yoga practice. Really nice, Angelis. Let's come to stand at the top of the mat. Shake out your legs. And can you feel difference? Okay, so let's stand on the right foot and take the left knee up. And we're working at that same line, center of the right hip. There's that outer edge of the greater trochanter, the middle of the knee, and the lateral ankle bone. We're trying to get that to stacked. The tendency is the hip to stack forward or like go back. Try to get it stacked. So keep it stacked and then see if you can pull your left knee up higher. And there'll be this renegotiation that you need to do with your body, continuing to take the top of the right hip back as you lift the left knee up higher. Keep pushing to lengthen through the spine. This is stage one, stay here. Actually, I think all of you guys can do this. Or take right hand to your hip, open your left knee out to the sides, like variation of Padangusthasana B. Keep pushing, lengthening. Come back through center. I'm gonna spin so you can see me. This is the one that you might choose to stay here. Take your left hand to the inside edge of the left knee, holding the outside edge of the left foot, and just stick your foot up a little bit. So we're not straightening the leg. This is kind of like a lunge legs or a half happy baby. Release the leg, slow motion step back, lunge. Now push through the legs, open the arms like a cactus, pivot your chest towards the right. Lengthen and breathe. Get stronger, get longer, expand more. Backhand on your back of the low back or back of the left thigh. Reverse lunge. Like in every pose, you want to feel like you're getting stronger and you're getting longer, not like you're collapsing and scrunching. Great, hinge forward, reach with your left arm. The left arm a little bit wider than you have before. Lower the left knee down to the floor or the cushion and uncurl, stretch. Bend your option, stay there or bend your back knee in. Lift your left hip towards the left heel. Bend your left elbow, shoulder back. Stay here or descend deeper into the pose. Release the back foot. High runner's lunge. Lift up your back knee. Step forward, Uttanasana. Hold your ankles, little bend in your knees, sit bones up, navel in, hinge. You can bend your knees a lot to do this. Shoulders stay up and back. Then maybe start to push through the feet and start to straighten your legs just a little bit. Release the legs, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands to your hips, come all the way up, hands in front of your heart. Come back to remembrance. All right, push through the left foot, right knee lifts. Modified Utthita Padangusthasana A, butt back. We're gonna be doing this on the floor in a little bit. So the hips will try to lift away from the floor. So imagine you have the floor on the back side of your tush and you are constantly pushing the back of the pelvis into the floor. Shoulders back into the imaginary floor, ribs into the back of the imaginary floor. See how much more you can lift your right knee without the left hip shifting forward. And then open it up into Padangusthasana B. Left knee opens, or no, right knee opens to the right, left hand to the hip. Come back through center. Half happy baby. Butt back. My left hand's on the wall. If you start to compare yourself to my steady balance. Okay, really nice. Slow motion step back lunge. Knee over your ankle, core strong. Twist from the belly button to the head to the left. From the belly button to the feet, there's a little twist to the right. Expand more through the shoulders, lengthen more through the spine, push more through the feet. Breathe deep, and then reverse lunge. Then come on up, lengthen yourself forward, take it a little bit wide, high runner's lunge twist. Lower the back knee down. Pull the right shoulder back and then curl over the shoulder. Chin stays slightly tucked, so you lengthen through the whole neck, the whole spine. Stay here or go for the quad stretch. Right hip backs up to the heel. Bend the elbow straight back, shoulder back, maybe descend more or more. Inhale, unwind. Back to table, kind of shake it out. And then we're gonna transition onto our back. Not right away, but soon we're gonna use the strap. So have a strap nearby or go grab a sock or something. Okay, Supta Tadasana. Extend the legs forward. Active feet, pushing them to the toe pads, balls of the feet, heels. Little bend in your knees. Sit bones push down and back. Top of the femur bones root back down towards the floor. Belly in, ribs in, shoulders under the spine. Take in as much of that as feels good for you. Okay, let's do the right leg first. Bring the right knee to the chest. With the hands on the right knee, bring the right knee kind of forward so it's right over the hip. And then keep the left leg active. Keep the top of the left hip rooting down to the floor and then begin to pull the right knee in. Find your max. It's kind of like Mr. Emoto's water experiment. You all heard of that? With that guy, pretty long time ago now, I forget when. I have his book. He experimented with studying water molecules while like playing different music or writing different phrases or having people come in and talk to the water. And the water molecules looked so beautiful when there was like this positive, when the water was exposed to like positivity and love. The water looked negative when it was exposed to negativity and hate. Open the right hip, knee to the right, left hand can come on the hip to keep it anchored. That's kind of like the perception we take creates the world we see. So if we're looking through the lenses of hate and negativity, we're gonna see ugliness everywhere. But if we can continuously remember to be looking at the world through love and positivity, then we'll see beautiful things, even when there's a structure happening or something happening that isn't ideal, that doesn't need to stay present, that we shouldn't take action to work against. We can still see the beauty there. I bring the knee back up through center. We're gonna do half happy baby. So the modification is just to continue to pull the right knee to the chest or work. I like to use both of my hands. Right foot super active, as if the right foot was on the floor, and begin to push the right knee towards the floor outside of the right rib cage. So I have a few inches between my right ribs and my right knee. So it's not butting into my right chest. And as the knee comes down, keep pushing the butt down. And then from here, we're gonna move into Supta twist. So the left hand will hold the right knee, roll onto the pinky toe side of the right foot. I suggest keeping the right knee in line with the right hip, so don't pull the knee all the way to the floor. Shoulders stay on the floor. There's a little sweet refinement you can make where you use your left hand to pull the right knee to the direction of the right, really subtly. Pull the right knee to the direction of the left as you push the top of the left hip subtly back, belly stays in. Stay here or reach down with your right foot and take the quad stretch with reach down with your right hand for the left foot to take the quad stretch. Right shoulder pulls to the floor, back of the right ribs pull to the floor. Right, and release. Straighten the legs, Supta Tadasana. Pull the left knee in. Right hip stays anchored. Continue to make this what looks like a static pose feel like it unfolds physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And take your right hand to your hip, open your left knee out to your left. Push out through the right foot, push out through the left knee, lengthen through the crown. Bring the knee back up through center, half happy baby. Stretching the hamstring as you push the attachment sites of the hamstring back and down to the floor, and pull the upper attachment strings or the knee attachment strings down to the floor. And move into the twist. Right hand pulls left knee across the body, spinning onto the pinky toe side of the right foot. Work this pose however you'd like, maybe reaching down with the left hand for the quad stretch. Really nice. And release. Okay, strap time. Grab your strap. Hook up your right foot. Start by taking your right foot further away from your chest than your right hip. Create the actions of the left leg. With your strap, pull the right foot into the hip socket. Keep drawing the sit bones down to the floor. Keeping that action, begin to extend the right foot more towards the sky. And then more towards your face. But finding when the appropriate time for you to hold the pose in more stillness and let the pose become a more subtle unfolding. Perhaps feeling the right leg jump for joy. And then we're going to move into half happy baby here. When I'm doing this with the strap, I hold either side of the strap, bend the right knee out wide, use my arms to pull the strap down to the floor as you keep pushing your butt to the floor. Try to keep the shoulders pretty evenly integrated into the shoulders. Work both of the hands to the right strap. Left hand maybe comes down to the left hip and begin to straighten the right leg over to the right. Hips root down, belly supports the spine, ribs draw in, shoulders integrate, push through the legs. You can stay here. Another variation is you can take your left hand to one of the straps, like there should be like more strap just hanging, and then you can open the left arm out to the sides. My left elbow is facing the left and my left hand's kind of above my crown of the head, but you can pull at the strap. This will lift the foot closer towards the right ear, and you have to keep integrating your shoulders. That can be a fun little change. You can also work with holding your right toes with your left hand. You have to be able to pull yourself back enough to keep your shoulders on the floor without sacrificing the length of the spine. If you ever get to a place where you're like, I just barely got the pose, and there's no more unfolding, that's when I know to back out and find a place I can hold back but keep feeling like it's growing in a subtle way. Release out of that, and we'll move into the twist. Right leg crosses over the body, Supta Padangusthasana C. Stay here. You can take the quad stretch. Shoulders stay on the floor, push out through the legs. And unwind. Switch the legs. Left foot comes into the strap, right leg extends forward. Start with the left foot further forward. Ground back through the hip sockets. And then begin to deepen the pose.
And then begin to bend the left knee, holding on to either strap. Left foot stacks above the left knee as you pull the left knee to the floor, towards the floor. It shouldn't touch. If it touches, your butt's probably lifted up away from the floor. Work both straps into your left hand and begin to straighten your left foot out to the left. And then cross the leg. Maybe doing the quad stretch. And release. Set the strap off to the side, lay over onto your right side. I like to have my knees bent so my shins catch me. Knee comes up, so this is like our Padangusthasana B. Then work your hand to the inside edge of the left knee. Flex the foot, hold the pinky toe side of the left foot so your hand is over your, like where the laces of a shoe would be. Strong leg, pull back with your hand and then begin to push through the foot. The leg does not need to straighten. With the legs straight, or as straight as it's going to be today, can you keep feeling an unfolding and a deepening of the pose even without any more movement taking place? Release the leg, switch sides. Right knee comes up, inner edge of the right knee, outside edge of the right foot, foot active, pull back through the shoulder, straighten. And release, very nice. We're gonna do a standing wide leg forward fold. Inner and outer edge of the feet strong. Let's go right hand down to the center of the mat, left hand to your hip. Keep your hip centered as you turn, curl over your right shoulder, push out through the hand, push out through the leg, maybe stretch the arm. And unwind, pivot your right foot to the right. We're gonna set up for Trikonasana, so maybe making your stance longer. Right fingertips to the inside or outside of the foot. A block is great for this. Push through the legs, push through the arm, curl over the shoulder and stretch. I think Trikonasana for me is the hardest pose to make it feel like it continues to grow. It's a pose I just want to plop into and be like, I'm here. All right, unwind, back through center. Switch sides, left hand comes to the middle, right hand comes to the hip, push down, squeeze the left shoulder into the back of the heart, curl over that stable shoulder. The shoulder is pulling away from the sternum. Maybe stretch the arm up. All right, inhale, unwind, pivot forward or to the other side. Left foot comes facing forward. Place your hand, push, curl, stretch.
Really nice. And unwind. We're going to do it one more time. You can do that same twist again. The right hand will be on the floor and left hand will come to the hip. Or you'd keep the right hand on the floor and you'd thread left hand through. Broaden through the hips and the shoulders. Breathe like you're smelling a sweet flower. Inhale, unwind. Pivot right foot to the right. Trikonasana. This time, my suggestion would be take your right hand to the outside if you haven't, and maybe take your right hand further back. So there's almost this like little shift backwards. This makes it more back bendy. So if this doesn't feel appropriate, don't do it. Inner edges and outer edges of the feet stay strong. Hips stay pulled back. Core stays strong. Push through the right hand, curl over the right shoulder. Keep stretching and reach. One of the most beautiful things is to realize what isn't your thing to do. And being able to choose to not do that. Strengthen the legs a little bit more, muscles hug to the bone, and push a little bit with more passion. Really nice. And release. We're going to spin to the right foot, high runner's lunge, lower the left knee down. This have a sense of humor about. It might not happen. It's just for fun. Okay. Shift your hips so they're back over the, what is that, your left knee. Pull your right foot in a little bit. We're going to put our hand flat on the floor. You could also use a block. I would do a flat block, hand flat on a flat block. You're going to lean back a little bit. Stage one, I think it's so much harder to extend this leg like it's floating in space, or take your back hand, left hand, hold the pinky toe side of the foot. Put the leg forward and then try to pull it up. Or just do nothing and laugh at the ridiculousness of this pose, knowing this won't make your life any better. Okay, shake that experience off. Wide leg forward fold. Left hand stays on the floor as you spin your chest to the left, or spin under the left arm elbow. Right hand holds the outer left leg. Keep your hips neutral. Really nice. Inhale, unwind. Pivot yourself over to your left foot. Left hand comes out to the side. You can go out to the left as far as you want, as long as you can maintain the steadiness of your feet and the strength of your legs. When you're ready, open it up. Strong legs, push. Really nice. And unwind. Come into like a low lunge. This is modified Vishvamitrasana. Left hand's going to come out to the side. I forgot, you can swivel that right foot if you'd like, your right foot. Then either just lift the leg up, which I find so much harder, or hold the foot, just in like any of these variations, or straighten the leg and extend the leg towards the front of the room. Push down and stretch up to the right ribs. Nice. How'd that go? Nice. Okay. Let's see. Where are we? Now let's have a seat. Let's take your right leg forward. And try to pull yourself upright. So when you pull yourself upright, you're trying to lead with the belly button. You could put a little cushion behind you. And then left hand comes onto the floor. Might be getting these sides wrong. Right legs opens out to the right. And then close. When I do this, my hips lift up. My right hip lifts up. Okay, so you can stay in one of these two places where you're just getting a hamstring stretch here or here. This pose, again, isn't one that will make your life any better. Or you can play with going into compass pose or Surya Yantrasana. Pull the right knee back. So this is like that half happy baby pose. And then you hold the right heel with your left hand. Right arm reaches up, butt lifts up as you go underneath your right leg. And I like to think of my right calf as like a backpack I'm putting up over my shoulders. And the right hand comes to the floor. You could also put your right hand on a block. Then switch the hand. Left hand holds the top of the right foot. Leg is strong. And start to straighten the leg as you turn your chest to the right. You can come out of this pose slowly, or since we're here, you can play with doing an arm balance where you cross your legs and lift your booty up, or straighten your cross legs and bend your arms like Shavasana. Shape that experience out, and then switch sides. Hold your left foot. Notice how the belly wants to be like posterior, drop back, try to pull yourself more upright. And then switch hands, right hand comes out to the side, open the hip, and close. It might feel better for you just to stay like in this variation with the legs straightening, or bend the knee, half happy baby. Keep the left leg in position as you lift up your left arm over the shoulder. Left fingertips come to the floor or a block. Right palm flips to hold the top edge of the left foot. Left leg strong, begin to straighten the leg. I like to use my right hand to pull my femur bone into my socket, pull my right shoulder into its socket, and lengthen. Right, come out of that slowly, or go into variation of an arm balance. Nice, and begin to hit your feet. Glutes. Working near padding up your whole body. Nice. And once you get up there, hold your knees and roll over onto your, let's go, left glute. One of the practices I like to do around Shri, like a really popular one, is eyes open meditation, looking at like a rose, and just like letting, instead of the meditation being more internal where you close your eyes, you're looking at a flower and like meditating on the beauty of the flower. I try to do this with my husband or kids, especially when they're pissing me off. So I try to like step back enough internally where I can look at them and see their beauty and feel my love for them, even though they might be currently doing something that I'm not a fan of. That's been a really nice practice for me, especially during quarantine. I was even telling a friend, Tyler gave himself a haircut, and it's like the worst haircut I've ever seen. And I was telling my friend, it's been a real opportunity, switch sides, for me to look at the beauty behind the haircut, you know. Hopefully these are giving you some ideas. And then come onto your forearms. So your elbows are down, hands are facing towards your hips. And we're gonna do a variation of windshield wipers here. So maybe I'll go like this so you can see me from this angle. So feet are flexed, pinky toes are spread. Unlock, rotate your knees from side to side. Try to find a way to position your head so you don't feel like your neck is getting tweaked. All right, the next time your right knees come to the right, stay there. And then we're gonna come up and we're gonna take our left arm and kind of like reach across. So I'm doing this like turn and stretch. So it's like rotating with my knees to the right. I'm stretching my left arm over to like the right corner of the room. Butt stays back, belly in. You can stay here or you can come onto your forearms facing the back of the room. So this is like a windshield version of Bridget's cross. So the left forearm or both forearms are on the floor. And then my legs are to the right. I'm gonna take my left hand, right hand, and place my right hand like chaturanga. So I'm rotating my belly button in and towards my right thumb. Then unwind, come back to your forearms, windshield wiper the legs both directions. Could take your knees over to the left. And then you're gonna take your right arm, like you're throwing that softball again, and turn all the way so your right chest is coming to the floor, towards the floor. Staying here or work up onto your forearms, facing the back of the room, trying to get your shoulders in line with your pelvis so you're not too weird of an angle. Core draws in, and then your left hand plants like chaturanga. You use your left hand to twist yourself up and towards your left thumb. Really nice. And release. Okay, come to lay on your back. Windshield wipers, knees to the right. You can stay here, spread your toes, or you can hook your right ankle over the left knee. You're not trying to push the left knee, you're just using your foot to try to lengthen your left knee out of your left hip socket. Left ribs stay in. Maybe stretch your left arm up to the sky. Pull the left shoulder back to its socket and stretch your arm up over your head. So rib in, stretching the limbs away from each other, maybe with the assistance of the right foot. Then release the hook of the foot if you have it. Come back through center. Knees pivot to the left. Right knee about in line with the right hip. Maybe left heel helps pull your knee out of your socket. Your hip socket, left or right rib stays in. Right arm maybe stretches up. Shoulder grounds to the floor. Arm stretches away. Really nice, and release. Your knees and give yourself a little hug. And if you want to do two more things, have about 5-ish minutes before making your way into a shavasana or an upright seated meditation.
One more minute where you are. Use your breath to deepen your experience of sweet relaxation. Beginning to deepen your breath. Try to keep this connection as you make your way up to a seated meditation if you're not already there. And with either your hands on your legs or your thighs, or hands over your heart or in prayer position, I want you to take a moment and think about yourself, even though there might be things going on or like old beliefs or something that makes you not fully see like your own beauty inner and out. Can you allow those other things to be there, but see the beauty in all of it? The beauty in your challenges, the beauty in your victories, the beauty always present in your soul. And the more we can see our own beauty, the more we can see the beauty that's everywhere. Shri. It's abundance of beauty that's always, always more than we can see with our eyes. Great. And then with your hands on your heart or an Anjali, we'll end with one Om, focusing on the vibration of the sound more than the sound itself, the vibration that helps awaken the intention we placed in our heart in the beginning of class. Take a full breath in, hold and lengthen. Exhale, inhale. Great, thank you all so much for being here. Namaste. Let's see.
That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.